everybody, I'm the Pigglesworth, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Along with Piggy. Now I am over here in a spot that some of you might not recognize. If you haven't watched the whole series, you may not be sure what in the world you're looking at here. Look at that. Look at all that nether wart just making its way up here. And falling into the water, and then getting caught in there. This is my AFK nether farm, and I have totally tropped the ball. Trop? How do you trop? I trot. I've got trotters. I dropped the ball. I keep meaning to make a tutorial for this thing. I've got one or two little improvements I've done to it, and I need to get on the ball, not drop the ball, and I need to make a tutorial for this just so y'all can see what in the world is this monstrosity. How does this thing work? Piggy? Seriously. Oh my gosh. How did I survive that? Man, that must mean that the armor I had just works that good. I was waiting for to see a death message on that. That was crazy. Yeah, let's just move on. Move on from here and act like there's nothing here to see. Yeah, let's get back up here, because up here is what I need to get working. You know, that's kind of a nice little event to happen. Do you see how dangerous it is for Piggy to play Minecraft? Let me turn down my volume on my screen a little bit. That's kind of loud. I don't want my microphone to pick it up. Did you see how much I fell and got hurt? Well, we've got to do something today. Not that. Here we go. We need a hat, pants, and a shirt. Do we have leather boots? We don't here, but I think we have some leather boots over here. This is kind of the leftover junk from the fish farm. I've yet to make like an official thing for the fish farm. Let's see here. I guess I should have arranged all this stuff. So we're going to need some yellow dye, some orange dye. Oh, we got recipes, new recipes. And I know I've got an ink sac. Here we go. See if y'all can figure out what in the world Piggy's up to. So let's see, and I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever dyed leather anything. So you're getting to see another first. So we're going to do that. We need to have... Do I have blue dye? Because a short little segue story. Back in the day... Oh, I do have some blue. It's light blue. I'd like it to be dark blue. What do we use for dark blue? We use this stuff for dark blue. So back in the day, I used to work at a plant where we made boxes. And I had to wear a hard hat. And my hard hat was actually blue. So we got a hard hat. We've got some special boots. Let's get ourselves... I think that'll work. That looks good. And then we'll do this. So have y'all figured out what Piggy's up to? What am I doing? I'm making safety gear. I am making safety gear. Let's see here. Where would be a good place for dye? Let's do this. We'll put the dye right here. We use the dye to dye the armor so that we don't die. And let's do this. Let's go ahead and take all this mess off. Although this is probably not the best thing in the world because that actually does protect me. And let's pop this stuff on. There we go. Let's take a little look-see. Back out. Hit the right button. There we go. We are ready for work. We are safe. We got all of our safety gear. The only thing missing is a set of goggles and maybe some earplugs. So we are going to take a jump down here. Now, in a previous video, I had mentioned I was using new capture software. And I had a person comment in video saying, Piggy, you never told us anything about it. What's going on? So here's what's going on. I am using a software called Action. I used to use Fraps. Hello, you guys. Not the wall, but you guys. Awesome. Can see all three of them that time. So I've been using this software for a couple of episodes, and I have been capturing it at 60 frames per second instead of 30, and I've been rendering it out at 60 frames a second. And this is in huge part to XB Crafted had mentioned this software, and then Biffa, I don't remember what number he uses on his name, but Biffa had given me some information on how to get my video software, which is Vegas, how to get it to render out 60 FPS. So if you will, leave a message in the comment section below letting me know, do you like this new look? Do you even notice a look? Does it look like anything changed? Or if not, I'd just like to know. Just curious. I forgot that I put those stairs right there. It kind of threw me. But we're up here today where we can hear the ghasts, the stinking noise. I thought I had that turned down, and I turned it up and forgot I was going to come up here. So what we've got going on today is this. We've got to do some work here. Because you can see, I'd shown you on a previous episode, that redstone stuff down there runs automatic. Now, what's supposed to happen, let's go down here. Actually, you can see it a little bit better. The timing has somehow messed up. So you can hear all the inner workings right here going. But I have yet to really figure out, oh, and I meant to bring a piece of carpet because we need to fix this as well. For some reason, in one of the updates, it won't let you crawl out of here now. It's really strange. So I've got to break that every time and then put it back because we don't need gas to spawn there. I need to put like a pressure plate or something right there. But what we've got going on is there is a clock that runs down here. And then that clock sets off, so you can kind of see it setting off a little pulse. And that pulse, how in the world? Oh, here we go. I knew I had built all this access stuff. I can't remember how in the world half of this works. So see, we can see that what's supposed to happen is this ice is supposed to be right here, okay? And the zombie pigs fall down and they die. And then this sticky piston, this 3 set of sticky piston is supposed to pull the ice down. And then behind it is a slime block, and those slime blocks are kind of like rubbery. They boing. So they're supposed to hit the XP orbs and send them flying all the way down here to this device, which will pop them up in the air. They get to that point, which they get popped up in the air again, and that's how the XP orbs make their way over to us. But for some reason, the timing has gotten all jacked up, and we have the ice is now stuck right here. So what I need to do is figure out what in the world is going on with this. Do we need to rebuild this or restructure this this circuitry? Because all 4 of these are doing it. Let's come over here and check. See, we've got ice blocks stuck to slime blocks there. So that's 2. This one's functioning properly. See, that's the way it's supposed to look. And I'm not quite certain why that one works and those other 2 are not. Is this one? Yeah, this one's messed up as well. See how they landed there? They're supposed to land behind it. And like I said, those slime blocks are supposed to rocket that stuff forward. But I need this system to work. One, I need it to work so that I can gather levels up there instead of having to come down here to pick up the XP. But the other thing is we need to fix... Hello, gold nugget. We need to fix back here because items keep flying out of this thing. And I have a feeling that if the ice blocks were where they were supposed to be, the items would stay up in there because we need to be able to get all these items down to the bottom level because there's something else cool that we're going to be able to do. And I'm not going to tell you yet. I've got to get one thing working before I get another thing working. But there's something really cool about 1.12 that they changed that is going to let me use this farm to an even greater extent than I've already been using it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at this circuitry a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is rebuild this circuitry in a test world, try and see if I can figure out what's going on, and if I can work out the details on this, if I can get my little piggy brain wrapped around this redstone and understand why it's not working the way it should, I'm going to take you into that test world. See if I can explain it to you, show you what's going on, so that way you'll understand what kind of fixes I have to do here. So I'm going to get... It really looks ominous and crazy from here, doesn't it? Just love this build. So cool. But I'm going to get to working on that, and I'll bring you back when I have something conclusive so that Piggy doesn't ramble on. But no matter what, remember, people, safety first. So I'll meet you, hopefully in a test world, in the next clip. Check that out. Whoa, is the XP actually trying to follow me? That's really cool. I never knew it would do that. Whoa. I wonder if you could mess with that effect and make something crazy out of it. That might be an interesting little experiment to mess with. But here's another interesting experiment. We're not in a creative world. We're still here. You might notice this. That's a little different. Yep, I've added a few new circuits to this setup. Okay, I really got to looking at how this used to be set up. Not now, but how it used to be, okay? And just follow along with me. If redstone's not your thing, this might get a little boring for a second, but I'm going to try and see if I can explain this rather quickly. So right here we have a comparator clock, which when you take an off signal, right now it's got an on signal from a torch that we can't really see. It's right underneath this block, and so it's powering that. When you turn that torch off, this slowly counts down. It decays. And once it decays to 0, then the power going into this block shuts off because this has no more power. When this shuts off, it lets this torch right here turn back on. That repowers the clock, and then it starts over again. So this counts, I don't know how many seconds, but it's kind of a circulating pulse. Okay? Now, as long as you have power going into this block, that torch is not going to turn on. So that's what I've got going on right here. We're sending power into this block. It has this clock shut off. Now, this clock causes a pulse, and that pulse is what causes those pistons right up there to work. If you notice, they haven't moved at all this whole clip. That's because I'm powering this block. Now, I'm getting power to this block via this path right here. And this path is just using some torches that are sending a signal to redstone dust, and there is a torch on front of this block. So it kind of diagonal. It sends the signal downwards to this spot. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating an on-off switch for this clock that I can control up in the XP collection area. And then let me get up here and I'll show you. Now the reason why I wanted to manually turn this on and off is I reset all these blocks. I busted all this out, and I changed the ice back to its correct position. And I tried a few experiments. And what I think is happening is when you're way up here and you make these zombie pigmen mad, they start coming after you and they fall down, and that's how this makes XP. But if I jump from there all the way back down to near the bottom of the nether where I've got my platform set up, I get far enough away from these zombie pigmen that the game no longer makes them hostile. But what I think happens is when I go down there and do that, or if I go through the nether portal and I unload the nether and reload the nether, what I think is happening is somewhere in this redstone timing, this chunk is unloading or shutting down somehow, and that's messing with these blocks. So I wanted to be able to manually turn it on and off instead of just leaving the clock running. If I'm not mistaken, I've been on 2 other servers that used a farm like this, and they were having the same issues where the ice would not stay in its correct position. But it's funny, if I let this run and sit here for like 10 minutes and watch it, it never messes up. So I'm almost confident it has to do with chunk loading and unloading. So I figured, you know what? Let's just make this a manual clock. And that's what this signal is. This signal goes up here. Let me see if I can get over here where you can see it. It goes right up, right where we can't see, right up to that redstone lamp. So let's go up to the top, and I'm going to show you what's going on and how this is working. Now that you've sat through the little bit of a boring bit from the... and what I really like is I was able to construct it in a way that the interior right here still looks the same. We don't see any of the circuitry, which is awesome. Now this up here has changed a little bit. I used to have stairs right here, and the first thing I noticed was these stairs were stopping the XP orbs from getting to me. And the other thing I noticed was that these rails were just high enough that were not allowing all the zombie pigs to see me, so they weren't trying to chase me down. So I changed that a little bit as well, but we've got this switch right here, so watch. Right now we can see nothing's happening, and this light is on. This light is a safety light that says everything's shut down and it's safe to leave the area. So we're going to flip the system on. Our warning light goes off telling us, don't you go away, don't you leave. And watch, we're going to have to give it a few seconds because that clock has to count itself down. But once it does, there it goes, and the system works. So now what we're going to be able to do is come up to this point, get my bow and arrow ready. I've got bad enemy sounds turned off, so it'll be nice and quiet. They're just going to fall down. We heard the redstone go off, so we should see some XP orbs show up any second now. We might have to wait for one more cycle. Or it's just raining pigs. There we go. And see, now the orbs actually get us up to us. Now, a few of them still get stuck in this spot, but very rarely do I ever use this farm in an AFK fashion, which means that I would actually physically leave my computer. So I'm not too worried about them getting stuck right there, because if I see them getting stuck, I can just move forward and pick them up. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip the switch. We're going to watch the upper right-hand corner of the screen. See how the lamp came on? And now nothing's happening. That's all just sitting there, which is awesome. Now, okay, the pigs are still chasing me, which is what I need for this next little piece. Because now that I've got this finally working correct, we can actually get on with today's project. Like I said, uh-oh, that's not good. So I need to make sure that I never try to escape from a minecart while I'm in this, or I'm going to get stuck in one of those hollows. No, that's not good. Okay, so let's do this. We'll break this. Wow. That's probably why I made this solid in the first place. So we'll come back up here, hop out, and see if we can. We'll let ourselves go past the spot. But yeah, there's a new mechanic that was put into the game. Darn it. Okay, let's just do this. We'll break on through. Break on through right here. And then I'll just put this back. And I'm going to have to get myself to not do that and discipline myself to actually do things the right way. Okay, so we have these hoppers. And these hoppers are collecting all the drops from the pigs. They're dropping zombie flesh, gold swords, ingots, and nuggets. They're not chasing me. That's good. Maybe we're just far enough away that they settled down. They calmed down and we don't have to worry about them coming after us. So watch. Here's what's going on with this. This is for those of y'all who may not have ever seen this work. So we got gold nuggets getting spit out. So in other words, all the drops are being collected and conglomerated to this point. We have a dropper on the left side and one right there on the right side. So let's go ahead and hop down. Now while I'm hopping down, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what's going on, because you'll probably be like, Piggy, you ramble, buddy. But you never get to the point. So I want to say it's 111, although it might be 112 where they added this. You can now melt down swords. We can put these in a fiery furnace. See if I can grab a couple I'm going to show you. And we can actually melt these down instead of them clogging up and backing up. Because honestly, gold weapons, gold tools, I can't think of a time I've ever needed them or used them. But yet, for some reason, they exist, and for some reason, zombie pigs drop them. So I figured, you know what would be cool is if we could build a system in the nether that would auto-smelt this stuff for us. Now, do I have fuel in there or in there? Nope, I was cooking some here. Let's do this. Yeah, I know that this furnace has got some fuel in it. So we're going to run that. And notice there's nothing in here. Now it's going to take a few seconds for that to run through. But we can now melt down swords into gold nuggets, which is really, really cool. So let's just go and dump these in here, and we'll let our auto smelter smelt these. So what I want to do is I want to build a collection system. I'm going to kind of get this nether hub thing looking a little bit nicer than what it is right now. Right now it's some hoppers with some dirt blocks, just kind of haphazardly collecting all of the drops. We want to kind of organize this stuff. Because what might be a really good idea is to get some villagers over here that deal with rotted flesh. We could have this as a rotted flesh farm that collects stuff that we can get emeralds for. Look at all this stuff. I think I emptied this out just a few minutes before this clip. I mean, this thing fills up quick. So what I want to do is make some kind of a tube that goes down through the floor, and underneath the floor we're going to have a sorting system, an auto smelter that's going to smelt down all of these swords and turn them into nuggets. And then once they're smelted into nuggets, it'll pass them back up here. And I'm thinking somewhere around in here maybe. We're just going to have to see how all of the redstone fits and everything. But we're going to have like stalls and a little area up in here where we can have access to all these drops. So we can actually make this a gold farm and a flesh farm for rotted flesh. And then we can trade with it. So that's the actual plan for today. And then we have to make an access point down there so that we can get buckets of lava because we're going to use lava for our fuel. So that's the plan. That's what I got to do. And I've rambled so much that I have run a whole bunch of time out of this episode, not even getting it done. So it's going to be a little bit of a different episode, kind of quirky, more about troubleshooting to try and get a project going than anything else. But I feel like it's okay to skip some of the technicals of today's project because in a way I'm not doing much more than you've seen done before in a few other builds. So I wanted to make this episode more about how do we troubleshoot things and figure things out and then come up with creative ways to work around them or make them work. In other words, don't give up on your builds. Repurpose them if you have to, or figure out what's wrong with them and make them work. Kind of a not give up type of attitude. Not giving up on this stuff. We're going to make use of it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start clearing this out and get that bottom section built. I'm going to bring you back and show you what in the world has my vision been for this area all along. Because this has been my long-term goal to make all this work. I just have dragged it out for 70-something episodes or so. However long it's been since we made the nether. And you, Mr. Gast, you can't get me, which is awesome. So like I said, I'm going to get to work and I'll bring you back and I'm going to show you what this new smeltery system is going to be all about. And you might ask yourself, what are we doing back up here? And you may ask yourself, Piggy, what's wrong with your hotbar? And you may ask yourself, Piggy, where did everything go? Well, I'm going to show you. I decided I would come up here so I could get a bunch of zombie pigmen going because I'm not really worried about getting XP at this moment. We need that. Do you see that gold nugget? See that rotted flesh? That's what we need. Now, I've been testing this thing quite a bit, and I must say that with this switch right here, none of that ice. Right there, right there, right there. None of that ice has gotten messed up, which is awesome. And I did have 70 levels. I did have 70 levels. So let's hop down here first. I'll show you what's going on, then I'll explain. So see, we've got all the items raining down. They're raining down onto these hoppers. Now, underneath this floor was a bunch of lava, and I wanted to build a redstone contraption down here. Ooh, and I picked up junk. Let's see, can we toss the junk? Can we get rid of the junk? No, well, okay. So what we've got going through here is just your basic item filter setup. We have gold nuggets going here, the ingots here, rotted flesh going here, and then swords. Where'd they go? It must be full. I know I've got it cooking as a test. Okay, so we got a bunch of swords in here. Yeah. But anyway, see this big empty room, this big open void? Yeah, there used to be lava here. And I was trying to break a block of sand that I had dropped down to fill up the lava, and I was going to put some half slabs here. Well, lava came pouring in, and it attacked me. I had all my awesome diamond tools, my pickaxe, my axe, my shovel, my sword with looting. I think that's it. There was one other tool maybe, but I had all diamond tools. I had my infinity bow. Really awesome stuff, and it just, I like almost insta-died in the lava because my leather safety gear just didn't want to put up with the lava. So the safety gear backfired, yeah. So previous episode or a couple episodes ago when I had that glitch in the game and I had to cheat in the tools that I lost, well now I've officially lost them. So we'll have to get our levels back and go back and rebuild those tools. And that's fine. There's no big deal with that. We've got this XP farm working good, so that's great. But what this system does, this system allows diamond swords, or not diamond, I wish diamond. It allows gold swords to back up in the system, and when a certain amount is in there, it triggers the system to lock any more coming in, and it smelts the ones that are in there, and it doesn't unlock until all of the items have smelted out. Where's it at? If we can keep from falling down. So right here, a bucket of lava. That will cook 100 items. So what I wanted to do was make it where this system would not start cooking until 100 swords had collected, and then it would let them go through, but it wouldn't let any more go through so that we wouldn't start cooking another batch. I wanted to make it as efficient as possible so we didn't waste any lava. Now, with the way that comparators work and chests and items, the closest I could get was 98 swords. So for every bucket of lava, I'm losing 2 smelts. But I think that's a good trade-off. I've never seen anybody build something like this, and you might not have either, and that's good, because I'm going to have a tutorial. I'm going to have a tutorial set up so that you can learn how to build this yourself. I know this episode's going a little long, and I really didn't want to show how to build this in the episode. It was going to take so much time to get all this done anyway. But what we've got right here is there's gold nuggets making their way in here. So we're going to have to fix that, because this is supposed to pull buckets out, and it's supposed to pass the gold nuggets on their way. So I'm going to have to investigate that. Those gold nuggets should not be making their way through there like that, but they are. Alright, so I'll have to check and investigate that. But the idea is going to be that we're going to separate the two. We're going to send the buckets to an area for collecting more lava, so that it'll automatically send it back to this point. And these gold nuggets are going to get sent. Yeah, this is kind of a maze right now. They're going to get sent back up into this area so that the gold nuggets end up with these. And then all of this mess, all this sorted stuff, the smelted items, everything, we're going to set up an area up here so that we don't ever have to really go down there. The only thing we're going to have to do is make sure that the lava buckets are in there so that it's got something to smelt. And whenever we come here to get XP, all the items that drop from the zombie pigs, they're going to get collected and they're going to get brought to a trading area somewhere around here. I'm not quite sure where I want to put it yet. And with some villagers so that we can trade. Because I know you can trade gold with villagers as well. So we'll be able to trade gold, and we'll be able to trade the zombie flesh. And that is going to let us get emeralds so that we can buy books, so that we can fix tools just like what we lost. And I'm not 100% sold on this being all glass. I may change it or do some kind of different design. But I just wanted to put glass right now because I wanted to see, for testing purposes, what all these items dropping down here would be like. But this is going to be your project for today. Your project for today is, I want you to build some kind of collection system for your zombie pig XP farm. And then I want you to take pictures take pictures of it and send it to me on Twitter, and then I will tweet it out for everyone else to see. You can be in survival mode, you can be in creative, you can be in pocket or PC edition, console, doesn't matter. What matters is you're playing Minecraft, having fun, and coming up with a cool project that matches today's project. So, I am going to start sorting out why that hopper down there is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, because it is. And it's misbehaving, so it needs to be put in its place. And then, I'm going to get started with the laborious process of hiding from these guys and making more tools so that we can recover our losses. So I'm going to get all that stuff done. You get your pictures sent to me so I can tweet them out, and I hope to see you in the next episode.